Tonight, the breaking news. Disney ABC says Jimmy Kimmel will return tomorrow night. The decision coming late today. This evening, the new statement from Disney. Kimmel's show had been suspended indefinitely after comments in the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting and amid pressure from President Trump's FCC chairman for some ABC stations not to carry Kimmel. The move igniting a nationwide debate about protecting free speech from political pressure. What we've now learned about Jimmy Kimmel's return. Also breaking tonight, President Trump's new guidance playing out on live TV late today for pregnant women across this country when it comes to using Tylenol, acetaminophen, during pregnancy. The president suggesting a link to autism now. Tonight, reaction has been swift from medical groups in this country. News tonight about a midair scare on a Delta flight that had taken off from Atlanta. A loud boom, sparks from the engine. Tonight, we're tracking severe storms at this hour, possible tornadoes, flash flooding, damaging winds. Several states, and Gabrielle is now a Category 4 hurricane in the Atlantic. The track as it stands tonight. Ginger Z is standing by. Tonight, the White House defending President Trump after he publicly called out his Attorney General Pam Bondi, pushing her to move faster to go after some of his political enemies. The White House was pressed on this today. Also tonight, the Tiger trainer mauled and killed in front of a crowd right here in the U.S. At the UN in New York City today, France now joining several countries, including Australia, Britain, Canada, in recognizing the state of Palestine. President Trump will address the UN General Assembly tomorrow. The chaotic scene, police say a coach shot at a youth baseball game. Tonight, Spider-Man star Tom Holland injured on the set. What we're learning about his condition. Also, the earthquake rattling the San Francisco Bay Area. And America Strong, some people wait their whole life for this. For a 4-year-old boy, it's already happened. You have to see his smile.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Monday night. And we begin tonight with the breaking news. Disney ABC late today saying Jimmy Kimmel will return tomorrow night. Disney says the decision comes after thoughtful conversations with Kimmel. Disney, the parent company of ABC, had suspended Kimmel's show indefinitely after his comments in the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting and after pressure from President Trump's FCC chairman for some ABC stations not to carry Kimmel's show. The move igniting a nationwide debate about political pressure and about protecting free speech in this country. Tonight, Disney ABC saying it suspended the show for a time to, quote, avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Kimmel returns tomorrow night, and ABC's Matt Gutman leading us off now from Los Angeles.
Tonight, Disney ABC announcing Jimmy Kimmel will return to the air tomorrow night after they paused the show indefinitely after comments he made about the ideology of the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing. Tonight, Disney saying in a statement, last Wednesday we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. The temporary pause came after pressure from President Trump's FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, who blasted Kimmel's comments. Carr pressuring local ABC stations to stop airing Kimmel's late-night show, Jimmy Kimmel Live.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Disney ABC then suspended Kimmel's show, quote, indefinitely from the entire network to allow for discussions with Kimmel and his team. What followed was a fierce debate over free speech in this country, critics suggesting the move was caving to political pressure and jeopardizing free speech. Even some Republicans and well-known conservatives speaking out against censorship and the importance of protecting free speech. Republican Texas Senator Ted Cruz comparing Brendan Carr's comments to those of a mafia boss.
He says, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
President Trump even suggesting the late-night hosts on NBC should be next, and suggested outlets who repeatedly report critically on the president could lose their broadcast licenses.
They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. It will be up to Brendan Carr.
Those words from the president, who signed an executive order on day one pledging to protect free speech.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Today at the White House, the press secretary was asked what message this all sends to Americans who might be afraid to express their own beliefs.
We have a right to free speech in this country. The president supports it. It is protected by our beautiful Constitution. And Americans should not cower in fear. They should rise up in courage to continue speaking the truth.
And David, in just about 24 hours, Jimmy Kimmel and his team will be back at that stage behind me to tape their show in what is very likely to be a highly anticipated return to late night TV. David.
Matt Gutman leading us off here tonight. Matt, thank you. Also breaking this evening, President Trump's new guidance for pregnant women and Tylenol. That guidance playing out on live TV late today, with the president drawing a link between acetaminophen and autism. The president saying pregnant women should not take Tylenol. Tonight, medical groups in this country already reacting to this. ABC's Steve Osunsami on how this played out late today. The new and controversial guidance. Steve is at the CDC headquarters in Atlanta for us.
Here's how the president's message to pregnant women played out on live television tonight.
Effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol during pregnancy, can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever, that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think. But if you can't tough it out, if you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly.
With Health Secretary RFK Jr. by his side, who has long shared provably wrong theories about what causes autism, President Trump is warning pregnant women about using the painkiller acetaminophen, commonly sold as Tylenol, saying that there are studies showing a possible link between using the drug during pregnancy with an increased risk of bearing children with autism.
Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups, the Amish as an example, they have essentially no autism.
But according to scientists, the Amish do indeed have cases of autism.
Today, the FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change.
Leading medical groups say that there have been dozens of large studies over the decades, and not one of them found that acetaminophen causes autism. They worry that pregnant women will now be afraid to take the drug, even when they have a fever, which they say can be more dangerous for the baby.
It's an announcement that is bound to raise so much fear, so much anxiety among pregnant women.
The makers of Tylenol say that their drug is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women. Dr. Edith Bracho Sanchez is a New York pediatrician who is pregnant with her second child and shares that she's still taking the drug herself.
Uncontrolled fevers in pregnancy pose an increased risk of miscarriage, of neural developmental defects. Knowing what I know about the risks of Tylenol in pregnancy versus the risks of an uncontrolled fever, I would take Tylenol again in this pregnancy.
Tonight, the president is also recommending a new drug to treat autism called leucovorin, a drug usually prescribed to help manage the side effects of chemotherapy. Early studies show that it may help some, but not all autistic children improve speech and comprehension, but it's not at all a cure.
And here's something else to add to this. The rate of autism has increased even as the use of Tylenol has decreased among pregnant women. Tylenol is a very important drug for pregnant women because they're told that they shouldn't be using that other painkiller, ibuprofen, because that drug increases the risk of miscarriage. David?
Yeah, this could actually bring a little more confusion out there. So, Steve, we really appreciate it. I know you'll stay on this to help clarify all of this for American families watching. Thanks, Steve. We move on now to news about a midair scare in a Delta flight that had taken off from Atlanta, a loud boom and then sparks from the engine. The plane then making an emergency landing. And here's Stephanie Ramos tonight.
Tonight, the midair scare on a Delta Airlines flight. Sparks seen coming out of the engine shortly after takeoff from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport.
I just heard a loud boom, and all of a sudden I just see sparks.
The Boeing 737 carrying 158 passengers and crew heading to Sacramento last night when Delta says it experienced a mechanical issue.
The pilot came on and he said, that there's probably an issue. And we need to turn back around.
The plane making an emergency landing back in Atlanta, stopping on the runway for inspection by the fire department.
Delta 682, understand you'll be stopping on the runway. Emergency vehicles will be on 118.7.
The pilot speaking via radio to the fire crew, who found no damage according to ATC audio.
Just check our left engine for any signs of external damage. And if you would, just take a quick look at our brakes to make sure they're not overheated or smoking.
We don't see any external damage to your left engine.
And David, tonight the FAA says they are investigating the incident. David.
Stephanie Ramos here with us. Steph, thank you. Tonight we're tracking severe storms, possible tornadoes, flash flooding, damaging winds, several states involved. We're also tracking what's now a Category 4 hurricane, Gabrielle, churning in the Atlantic. The latest track on this, plus the storms, of course. Let's get right to our chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, doing double duty for us on a Monday night. Ginger, great to have you.
Hey, great to be here. David, severe to strong storms from Columbus, Ohio, right on down into northeastern Kentucky. So you can see that line moving through. That's even had a few tornado warnings on it. But look, Iowa back into Omaha, Nebraska, Wichita, nearly Oklahoma City to Garden City, Kansas also have a threat. Right into the Ozarks, you'll also see a flash flood threat. That goes through tomorrow and includes Little Rock. Now, Hurricane Gabrielle, you mentioned it. It's east of Bermuda by a few hundred miles. And thankfully, because this thing rapidly intensified today, it is going to move northeast away from that island and thankfully remain a fish storm. However, the National Hurricane Center is watching two other waves that have an 80 and 50% chance, respectively, of developing into our next depression. That name would be Umberto.
Important still that time of year. Ginger Z, we'll see you first thing in the morning. Thanks. Tonight, the White House defending President Trump after he publicly called out his Attorney General Pam Bondi, pushing her to move faster in prosecuting his political enemies. The White House was pressed on this today, and here's Rachel Scott tonight.
Tonight, the White House defending President Trump after he openly urged Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after his political opponents.
No, I just want people to act. They have to act.
Over the weekend, in an extraordinary post, the president addressing Bondi directly, writing, "Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially, same old story as last time, all talk, no action. Nothing is being done." He mentioned specific targets: former FBI Director James Comey, California Senator Adam Schiff, and New York Attorney General Letitia James, saying we can't delay any longer. The president recently forced out his handpicked U.S. attorney from Virginia, sources tell ABC News, for failing to come up with enough evidence to bring charges against Letitia James, who had successfully sued Trump for business fraud. The president's new choice for that office arriving today: Lindsay Halligan, who, like so many top DOJ officials, was once one of the president's personal attorneys. Halligan, who practiced insurance law, has never prosecuted a case. Still, President Trump insisting she will get things moving.
We have to act fast, one way or the other. One way or the other. They're guilty, they're not guilty, we have to act fast. If they're not guilty, that's fine. If they are guilty, or if they should be charged, they should be charged. And we have to do it now.
Today, ABC's Selena Wang asking the White House if the president is weaponizing the Justice Department.
He wants to see accountability for those who abuse their office and abuse their power. And Letitia James absolutely did that, whether you want to admit it or not.
Is that not retribution, though?
Jeff, it's accountability.
It comes as we learn the Justice Department has shut down an investigation into a close Trump ally, border czar Tom Homan. Sources tell ABC News that in 2024, Homan was recorded accepting a $50,000 bag of cash from FBI agents posing as business executives. Sources say Homan agreed to potentially help the men get government contracts if Trump won the election. But shortly after Trump took office, that case was closed. And tonight, the White House fully standing behind Tom Homan, insisting he's done nothing wrong, David.
Rachel Scott, good to have you here in New York. Thank you, Rachel. We move on to the other news and to a horrific scene at a tiger preserve in Oklahoma. A tiger trainer mauled and killed in front of a crowd. Here's Trevor Ault tonight.
Tonight, a shocking tragedy at an Oklahoma wildlife preserve. A tiger handler mauled to death by a tiger in front of a crowd. Sources tell ABC News Ryan Easley was performing a demonstration with a tiger similar to the one seen in this video, using finger paint to make paw prints on canvases. But this time, the animal turned on him and attacked mid-performance. Authorities say he died almost instantly.
Upon them entering the pen or the ring, Mr. Easley was expired. He had died from a wound from the tiger.
Easley had trained the tiger since it was a cub.
People of this community loved the family, loved the tiger show.
The Growler Pines Tiger Preserve, which he ran with his wife, is now calling this a painful accident, saying Easley dedicated his life to the protection and care of these magnificent animals.
David, Ryan Easley leaves behind a wife and a daughter. It's not yet clear what will happen with the tiger. David.
Trevor Ault with us here tonight. Trevor, thank you. At the UN in New York City today, France now joining several countries, including Australia, Britain, and Canada, in recognizing the state of Palestine. French President Emmanuel Macron saying, quote, "The time has come," citing his country's commitment to peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu slamming the decision tonight. President Trump will address the UN General Assembly tomorrow, and we'll cover it. When we come back tonight, an earthquake rattles the San Francisco Bay Area. The earthquake felt by thousands. Details on the quake's epicenter and what we've learned. Also tonight, the terrifying moment on the field, the baseball coach shot on the field, players running at that youth baseball game. We've learned tonight actor Tom Holland has been injured on the Spider-Man set. We have news on his condition in a moment here. A lot more ahead. Tonight, the damage after an earthquake in the San Francisco Bay Area, a 4.3 magnitude quake overnight, the epicenter in Berkeley. One homeowner catching the tremor on camera. No injuries reported. Thousands feeling this. Businesses are cleaning up the damage tonight. This evening, a measles outbreak growing in parts of Arizona and Utah. At least 42 measles cases reported in Mojave County, Arizona, the most since '91. Dozens of cases also reported across Utah, including 21 cases in the southwest part of the state. Health officials tonight saying those communities have low vaccination rates. When we come back here tonight, a chaotic scene. A youth baseball coach shot, players then running for cover, and you'll see it. And actor Tom Holland has been injured on the Spider-Man movie set. What we know about his condition in a moment here. To the index tonight, a youth baseball coach shot during a game in Katy, Texas. That gunfire sending players and coaches out running for cover. A 27-year-old coach shot in the shoulder. Emergency crews airlifting him to the hospital. The sheriff's office says the shots came from a group doing target practice nearby. Police now questioning 3 people, but they say they have no reason to believe this was intentional. Actor Tom Holland has been injured on the set of the new Spider-Man movie. They say Holland suffered a mild concussion while filming in the UK. No word on how he was injured. The actor taking a break from filming now. He's expected to return in a few days. Holland in Spider-Man Brand New Day due in theaters in July. When we come back here tonight, America Strong. Golfers wait their entire careers for this one moment. For a 4-year-old, it's already come. Finally tonight here, America Strong, the 4-year-old, and quite a swing. Tonight, a father and son celebrating a once-in-a-lifetime moment. But it wasn't for Dad. It was the 4-year-old boy achieving this already. In Knoxville, Tennessee, Dad Hayden Antel and his 4-year-old son Levi playing golf. Dad never really played before Levi began loving golf. He started golfing when he was 2. And watch this. On the 5th hole, Levi, just 4 years old, teeing up. Then the swing.
Oh my goodness gracious.
108 yards away.
Oh my gosh! Dude!
A hole in one. Running up to the putting green.
No way, dude.
And there it is, a hole in one.
That is crazy.
And right here tonight.
Hey, David.
4-year-old Levi and Dad Hayden back on the golf course. Levi telling us how he did it.
I just hit it straight and it rolled up the green and then turned into the hole.
The clubhouse rewarding Levi with a hat, a snow cone, and tonight Dad Hayden telling us he's proud and in awe of his 4-year-old son. Next up, the Masters.
it's rewarding to see them start to figure out something that they love. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Big hug from the snow cone to the green jacket, perhaps. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 3rd year in a row.